Mm.
We are really glad to see such enthusiasm from all of you to learn from the professionals who are from different fields and different experiences. The aim of this session is simple to bring together different voices in civil engineering so we can talk openly about career paths, challenges, and opportunities. It's a really good chance to learn things that no textbook and Google can taught us. And before getting into the session, I would quickly introduce today's panel speakers. First one is Sivaraman sir.
This is me.
Sivaraman. Can you see my presentation?
Yes, yes.
Yes, I can.
Sir is now working at, I don't know, Sir is working now as a project controls engineer. So after 2 months, Sir will be in India, I think.
Yes,
Sir has 30 plus years of experience. And second one is Anbu sir. Sir is a deputy associate director, city leads, Hyderabad FT leads. And third one is Vikram sir. Sir is working as a design engineer in Felton Consultancies. Sir is into bridges and metros department. And and one more is Akshay Kamath sir. Sir is a well-known trainer in civil engineering. He's a YouTuber and he's the founder of Civil Brains, and he has guided a number of students. And the last one is Funny sir. He's currently working as assistant manager, Postdoc Chemical. And sorry sir, actually you have changed your position recently.
Yeah, it's okay, fine.
Okay. You can introduce your role now.
Yes, yes. Even even I was thinking that who are the like panel speakers are there, if they can introduce themselves so that others may get some idea regarding when they ask questions, they can point out the concerned person and they can verify their doubts and whatever queries they have.
Okay.
Yeah, because this panel has different experiences from different fields. It's a good thing that we have meet up here. So if we can just a small introduction about ourselves, maybe that can help others, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Hello everyone. Hi Akshay, Pani, Sivaraman sir.
Yeah. Hi. Hi Akshay. You're on mute, Akshay.
Wait. Hi everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Almost 33 I've joined, Vinay. 34. Yeah, I think
already questions have started in chat box.
Yeah. I have put it in my YouTube channel. Maybe few people have joined from there also.
Okay.
I think they can turn on the mic, no? That would be better.
Yes, sir. They can turn on the mic and speak.
Yeah.
There was a question on the chat box. I need guidance. I am about to finish my MTech structural engineering in 2 months. How to get job in structural design? What course or software should I do? Vinay, that's I think your area.
Yeah. Sai Krishna, right? Yeah, one thing is, see, it all depends. Like if there are companies coming in this college, then it's an added advantage. Because usually NITs and IITs, most of the companies will come. But if he's doing from a normal private college, then placement is a problem. So in that case, he has to brush up his subjects like strength of materials, structure analysis, and RCC subject. Along with that, try to see which field you want to get into. Because see, just learning the software not help you. Suppose if you want to get into building design, then ETABS, StatPro, SAFE is going to help him. Suppose if you're interested towards the bridge field, then Midas software, I think Vikram is there. Vikram can guide him. So first you have to decide which field you want to get into that. And based on that, you can learn the software. But before learning the software, get your fundamentals good, especially RCC subject, then your steel subjects, and few things about the code books. And that way you can get a job. Say another one thing, getting job soon after your college, it's not going to happen. For that, you have to do a good amount of research, which company you want to get into, connect the people on LinkedIn, speak to them, create a good portfolio, and then you can get a job. Yeah, I think other people can add on to this.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Maybe not exactly to this question, but I have set up things to discuss with the forum over here. Especially, you know, Siva sir is someone who can also add his views on this. See, I'm most of the time, what do we see is like when I'm interacting with young students, of course, there are a lot of chats happening in our group also. We must have all seen that. Two problems I would like to bring to the forum for the benefit of, you know, the young audiences. First problem is, why do people hate SITE? And second problem is, obviously, you know, the work-life balance issue, which is forever happening and happening and happening. So first, you know, I would like to take, maybe Siva sir, I would like to start with you. What is the problem with SITE, and what is your views on work-life balance?
Okay. First of all, the why people hate SITE is a large topic. I will come to a small topic first. What is the work-life balance and all? There is nothing called work-life balance. Exactly. There is nothing to balance with life. Life is life. Work is work. Work is only a part of life. Work cannot become your life. The problem starts when you try to balance these two. Yep. So this work-life balance, it changes over the years as you gain experience and all. Exactly. The amount of work I did during my initial years, maybe first 10 years, I'm not doing, I'm doing a fraction of that now. But the salary is inversely proportional. So don't look at work-life balance. This is a big term. It can be only taught for maybe IT staff because they are working in too much tremendous mental pressure. I don't believe in this work-life concept at all, first of all. Nothing can balance your life. Okay. So don't try to go with that. There is nothing called work-life balance. So keep work always a part of life. And when you are a bachelor, you can slog. If you want also, you can slog. But when you become a family man, when you get married, you cannot spend as much time as you want in the job. And during the bachelor's type also, if you have passion for travel, if you have passion for some extra activities other than your core business, and if you want to have multiple streams of income, slowly the work becomes insignificant when your other stream of income increases over a period of time, or when you accumulate some 20-30 years of experience and your other investment starts yielding some result. So the work will become insignificant, whether we go or not. So you will want to have, even for a less salary, you will want to have a less pressure job or less travel job. So it is a very subjective matter, the work-life balance. So I hope I have thrown some light into it. But coming to the SITE, why do people hate SITE? People are not aware of that, what SITE has in store for you. Exactly. I have been telling you, SITE will open up lot of avenues which you have not been exposed to any of your classroom sessions, and even if you have read 1,000 books on what is construction. Unless you go and see for yourself how the work is happening, you are not going to learn construction. So what will happen? When you attain, still you can survive in the market. You can somehow survive with all your connections and your the painting picture on the sky. You can still survive. But what will happen when you become of my age? A person of your age will come and teach you what construction is. So that will be very humiliating at that time for you. So times are changing. So you need to be a little open-minded. And moreover, at your age, when you are young, you can afford to make mistakes, and that is the time to make mistake. Do explore at site. What authorities you will have? Maybe for one column, one beam, reinforcement, form work, some curing, some quantity calculation. So the kind of for the authority and for the responsibility, the kind of any fault, if you goof up, if you do any mistake, that is also not going to hamper in multi-crore loss to your company. So your project manager will be shouting at you for some time, and at this age, it's okay. Chalte hai, like this, you can shrug off all this, and then still you can.
One experience I would like to add here, sir. As you
Yeah.
rightly say, from my experiences, like I had started as a site engineer. So currently, like when some cold meetings happens or some cold phone calls happens, or in a office forum also, I am the person in my team where I feel like, okay, what did he say? He didn't say anything even wrong. So people will be sitting next to me. They'll be saying, hey, how can he shout at us like this? He was like, he was very furious at us. I was like, I didn't see that furiousness at all. Because I used to see more than this when I was a site engineer.
Yeah.
Those seriousness and all, if we could speak to this generation people, it is totally different. So as you rightly said, when we are at a site and we start, the level of exposure, both in terms of, making ourselves a matured engineer, developing the acceptance, developing the reality of construction, managing all set of people right from labor to, project managers. That set of exposure is something which we definitely cannot.
Yeah, at this age, you should be taking things sportively, and if it is unbearable, start murmuring some Michael Jackson song in your mind, and then listen to him like this. So things will move smoothly. So this is one thing. The why people hate sight is one reason. You don't understand what site has in store for you. Sometimes what will happens, it will open up some kind of avenues. It will make you realize your own potential, what you have not realized at all. So when your people are put under some kind of pressure, you will find a shortest way, a better way of doing it, a quickest way of doing it, an innovative way of doing it. So this will open up what you are capable of. This will teach you what you are capable of. When you are working in a company like L&T, which is all structured, they have all procedures, processes for AHS, for design, for everything. They have procedures, checklists. But when you work for a small contractor, you will not be given this much sophistication, no computers, no amount of the software tools. So everything will be left to what your common sense, your intuition, whatever life skill you learned. So you will be allowed to explore all that. This is the age where you can make mistake, learn from the mistake, and grow up from there. But when you gain some 10 years of experience, you will have more responsibility, more accountability, more authority also. At that time, any mistake you make, it will be running into some lakhs and crores also sometimes. So better to make all the mistakes when you are young, and all the blaming at the time of young. At the time, you will not have any family pressure, probably no EMIs, big EMIs for you. So this is exactly the time when you can explore opportunities. And I'll tell you another thing also. When you may be thinking that I want to become a QS, I want to become a planning engineer, but people told me to go to a site for a curing, or for reinforcement, or formwork engineer. Life is not going to stay there. The fear psychosis says that when you go to site, I will be sunk into the site itself. Nothing is not going to happen. You are not going to end up your life in the construction site itself. So this is only the starting point. So imagine like this. So what will happen normally when a planning engineer goes on vacation, or suddenly he falls sick? The project manager will scratch his head, whom to entrust this job. So When you are crossing that side and say, good morning, sir, he will say, come here. And today we have a meeting. You update this schedule. Like this, he will tell you to do the schedule and then present it in the client meeting also. Sometimes it will happen when you are working for a contractor. You may be thinking that I want to become a planning engineer, but I am not getting opportunity. So always keep your mind and options, learnings always open. So you don't know when opportunity will knock your door. So site provides all the opportunity to explore, but only thing is you should be prepared to take it. You should have your mind open always. You want to become a QS and suddenly some quantity needs to be executed, some quantity need to be calculated for making any change request to the client or consultant. So if that QS is not available at the time, or he is busy with another site, or he is busy with some other billing, so he'll the project manager will take someone in the side. He will not at the time, he will not go through your CVs, all these things. He will want someone to do this task, at least if not 100% accuracy, at least 80% accuracy. These are the small opportunities where you have to keep your eyes and ears open so that you can explore. And when you all along, whatever you wanted to become, the opportunities may knock at the right time. So only thing, there is a proverb: when the student is ready, the master will appear. When the
Correct.
student is actually ready, the master will disappear, which means you are already there. So this is the proverb. So I would still recommend and then the advise all the youngsters to start at the site. And moreover, whatever BTech, MTech, PhD you complete in your course, always the starting point is the construction site.
Yep.
This rule will never change. Even MTech, the starting point is always construction site, because you will take the actual site condition when you are doing the design. When the soil test is done, we again tell the contractor, when he comes, he will start with the soil test report only. Even the design engineer or the shop drawing preparing guys, they will refer to this latest geotechnical report and do it. And not only the starting point, the end point is always the construction site. Because whatever high-tech tools you use, 3D, 4D BIM, 5D BIM, whatever you use, ultimately you can build a digital twin on the screen. But ultimately, everything should come to the
Built on
site
the ground.
for realization. You will build at the site only. The realization will happen for the contractor, client, owner, everybody. For the realization, the value benefit will happen at the site only. So give
Correct.
up the fear that you will always end up in site. I want the other youngsters also see. My experience comes from 30 years before how I started as a site supervisor. So there are youngsters in this forum. I want their exposure, how the things have changed, or it continues to be the same. Most probably, I feel it continues to be the same when you start at site. I want to hear from the youngsters.
Yeah, yes. Vinay, how about the participants? Before start, would you like to get the introduction of the speakers and go ahead?
Little introduction of speakers by yourself.
Okay. So first, okay, I'll take this thing. Myself, Anbu, to the audience over here. We just take a pause for a minute. I was just throwing some icebreakers. We will just quickly finish our introduction and go to the discussion. So myself, Anbu. So I'm around like 12 years of experience I hold into construction. Mostly, I started as a site engineer. Currently, I am into quantity surveying and cost management. So I work for a UK-based MNC taking care of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana market for cost management services. So that's the background. I'll leave it to the forum. Maybe Shiva sir or Fani or Akshay can take over.
Yeah, myself, Sivaraman here. I have a long history. This one session will not be sufficient, so I'll keep it short. I have total 30 years of experience across the different field and different sides of the table, this side, that side, government, consultant, contractor, everywhere I sat. And finally, I decided to continue pursue my career in outside India. And now I am deciding to go back to India another few months. So I will find more time to chat with you guys.
Nice.
Yeah.
Fani?
Yeah, hi. This is Funny. Actually, I'm basically I'm a civil engineer graduate. I have a 13 years of experience into this construction segment. So like I worked for a site as a site engineer, a project engineer for 4 to 5 years. So after that, I was into a different field, like technical marketing field. Most of the discussion happened regarding the construction and all. But civil engineering has other areas also where people can explore. Earlier, I worked with Ultratech Cement as a technical advisor, you can say. And right now, I'm with Pidilite Industries, looking after construction chemical sector.
Hello everyone. I'm Akshay Kamath. I have around 8 years of experience in the construction. I started my career as a site engineer. Then I did my master's in structural engineering, and I work around 8 to 1 year as a structural engineer. Then I was always passionate about teaching, so that is how I entered into a teaching industry. And for the past 4 to 5 years, I'm into teaching on YouTube, and my courses are available. Yeah, this is a small introduction about myself.
So I think few questions are there before we go. Funny and
Sir,
Akshay.
one more. Vikram
Yeah,
sir is there.
Yeah.
Vikram.
Sorry. Yeah.
You're
Sir, you're
muted.
on mute, Vikram.
Sir, Vikram sir, your mic is on.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Vikram Singh. I completed my master's from IIT Kanpur in 2020, and thereafter I started in L&T construction. From there, I moved to Tandon Consultant, and as Sivaram sir said, that beginning point is the site. But unfortunately, I have been working in the design offices for the last 5 years.
Okay. Great.
At least most of us in the panel started as a site engineer. I am happy to note that, and this is a point to be noted by young engineers also. So you will never feel bad about this decision of going to the site, at least for the initial 2-3 years of your career.
Yes, sir.
True. One
I
point that similar lines, maybe I will ask Akshay or Kamath to continue with what we were discussing about the work-life balance and site point. Sorry, Akshay or Pani or Vikram can
Yeah.
add on.
Yeah, like what Shivaraman sir told, I completely agree with that. Because I always tell with my students that if you want to call yourself as the engineer, start with the site engineer. And once you start to work on the site engineer, there are different options which will open up. Like you can work as a planning engineer, you can work as a QS engineer, and if you don't want that, even you can start working as a structure engineer. But unless and until you don't see how the building is done, if you don't see what is 450 depth of the beam, you cannot understand how much is 450 So that is the point which I want to add it here. So it's always better start with a site job, but we understand site is critical. You have to work for 10, 12, 13, 14 hours. And even the pay is also less nowadays, like what Sivaraman sir told. When he started, it was like 800 rupees, if I'm not wrong. Nowadays, I think it
400.
is like
400. I started for 400.
yeah, 400. But even nowadays, I think there are good companies which pay like Godrej, L&T and all, they pay around 25-30,000, but that is
Minimum.
from a good colleges. But if you're doing it from a normal college, it's like 18-20,000. But like what sir told, that is not the end of your life, no. You're starting from there, and after that, you slowly move towards the planning and the other field.
So
Yeah.
one point is to add, Kamath, currently there is a set of engineers hired by Godrej from various set of colleges. And most of the branded construction companies have already normalized their pay for engineers. So if it's a fresher, minimum is around 20,000 is the minimum pay.
Minimum.
Any branded construction companies are not paying less than 20,000 rupees. So
Yes,
we have
sir.
reached at least up to that level. Yeah.
Yeah. Correct, sir. I agree.
Funny. What do you
Yeah.
say?
Yes. I think actually nowadays, engineers, budding engineers, and all, they need to accept first of all the civil engineering first in their minds itself, because even I see many youngsters are looking. Maybe they are comparing with other branches, or I don't know. Everyone wants to work on a laptop under AC. But the thing is, they will not be able to understand the basic fundamentals of the civil engineering unless and until they work in this site. Even coming to me as well, I worked as a site supervisor initially. During that time, my salary hardly was like around maybe 4,000 rupees, maybe. But right now, if I think, if I just imagine that site engineering experience I have learned a lot in that experience because of basic construction activities at the site level and all. So I recommend like for every young engineers, at least they need to work minimum like 3 years, 3 to 4 years in the site, and later on they can decide, because now they will be having plenty of opportunities everywhere. So after like under the execution and site field, they can always like explore the other fields as well, maybe the QS or maybe the designing part. So by doing like this, they will gain the more knowledge about during the design or during the QS or whatever it may be.
Correct. See, one more point is like I always tell this whenever this topic comes is, see, basically when we start schooling, what do they do for us? They'll put us in the play school and then nursery, and then it will come to LKG and UKG, and till first standard. If we could, you know, or if we could see whoever the kids these days are also 4 years, what do they teach is all ABCD.
Yes.
Slowly they'll start with 2 letters, 3 letters, 3 years at least, like all this nursery, LKG and UKG, 3 years, they'll completely put you into ABCD, or whatever the alphabet form of whichever the language it is. They'll put us into the alphabet only, because that's where the basics are. So unless and until we know that the set of alphabets, left, right, left to right, right to left, if we're able to, get that graph, it is very tough for us to scale up, even if we do a PhD at later point of time. That starts with the ABCD, which we have learned at the root or at the nursery level, what we have done. Exactly. So I think people, we should also have that. I mean, I'm saying the youngsters should also have that lens. Like it is sometimes boring, it is sometimes repetitive, but what I would like to convey from the experience, what we were able to gain is, say, every site is different. Every site will come different problem, and in a single site also the nature of problems keep varying. You won't get the same problem what you get today. Tomorrow the same problem won't be there, because it will come in either in a different form, or it will evolve into a better problem or a bigger problem. So the problem statement always changes within the site and between the site also. So that is where, as Sivaraman sir was also saying, like, that is where we try to evolve and become a better engineer. And coming to this work-life balance concept, I would like to I already spoke about this a bit earlier. So what I would like to emphasize is, first of all, like, we have to compare with who what is the definition of that work-life balance is basically. If some developed nations are framing that analogy of work-life balance, the culture is entirely different there. And to me, honestly speaking, see, if I am a bachelor, I'm into the construction industry, I am a bachelor, I stepped out of college. Actually, I started to learn after coming out of college only, because construction is not something which we can learn theoretically. I have no idea what is a 4-inch thick slab when I was doing when I was studying it in college. Only when I visit the site, I'll be able to see, okay, this is what called as 4-inch. Then I'll try to keep my fingers and say, okay, this much is what 4 inches. I'll try to grab that practical skills ability. Seeing a rebar, I'll be able to understand, okay, this is 12 mm, this is 8 mm, this is 32 mm. All this comes only when you are at site, obviously not at college. So to go through that, to develop that sort of an insight, to mold or tune yourself as a better civil engineer, it requires time. And unfortunately, that time is always after college for construction industry. It is similar to doctors practicing through medical colleges after their post completion. It is the same sort of work we are also doing. But what our people miss to understand is, immediately they need to climb up the mountains. That is something which is which people also, I mean, youngsters who is into the industry also has to understand. Okay, it's going to take some more time unless until you have a strong basics. Coming to the work-life balance, as I was saying, if I'm a bachelor, 2 years in the beginning, there is absolutely not going to be any life part. It is going to be the work part. Your life itself is more about work if you are passionate about it, and it is not about work. It is about making yourself competent, increasing your competency, developing your understanding about a project, developing your understanding about the problems of a project, and all these are going to help you later point of time to bring that life component inside. See, obviously, to anyone who is speaking about work-life balance, there is a problem statement given to you. If you know a solution, the time to solve the problem is very less. If you know how to find a solution, the time here is comparatively higher, it is still lesser. If you have no clue how to solve that problem, obviously you're going to take more time. And the differentiation between having a solution, knowing how to find a solution, do not know a solution, is going to come from your experience only. So that life part in the beginning is always going to be more of work. The more you gain experience, it is going to become more like, you will be able to understand the problems quickly. You can, solve something. All I'm saying is like, the work will be done quickly. You can make time for yourself. So to come to that stage, it's going to take a little bit of time. So, I would request all these young engineers to have patience and hope on the industry without giving up. So there are a couple of questions also on the chat box. So someone was asking Start Pro and ETAPS, is it enough for structural engineering post-graduation?
Yeah.
Sai has
Again,
answered
that
this.
question itself is,
Yeah, I think you already answered that.
he asked. Sai Krishna has asked that.
Yeah, and one more
Again,
is
that question itself is wrong.
okay.
See, like we always discuss, first you have to understand the fundamentals. If you understand how the manual calculations are done, then you can learn any software. StatPro and ETABS is not structural engineering. So get your fundamentals good. Because today we have StatPro and ETABS. Maybe after 10 years, some other software may come. But the concept remains the same. Bending moment remains the same. So try to, understand those things. But at this stage, if you want to get into building project, start with StatPro and ETABS and safe software. That is sufficient for you to get a job at least.
And there is
If you
another
cannot,
question.
if you
Yes,
cannot derive the load path manually, whatever expert you become in StatPro, your design is not going to work.
Correct.
Great answer.
It's different to get a job in civil unless you are experienced at LinkedIn and everywhere. Sai
No,
Krishna.
it is not like that. There is already a stigma in the mind of the people that I should become qualified from NIT, that some famous institutes only where the campus interview come. It's not like
Which
that.
college you are from, sir? Basically, I know. Basically, I'm asking for people's confidence. There's no brand or anything available behind
There
you.
is no brand here. I never studied in big colleges. I never studied in big schools. All small village side colleges, Swanmuga College of Engineering. Now that college itself is not there. So this is where I studied. It is all about what you are going to do with what little you learned at the college. And when you go to the site, who knows? You may become, after observing the site, after seeing the potential, you may start a small contractor and become a big contractor. So site gives an opportunity to explore yourself, what you are capable of, and if you are hesitating away, you will be missing an opportunity to find a wonderful entrepreneur in yourself. It's
Correct.
not necessary that always you have to become an employee after working in few years of site. This few years of site experience can give you more open up opportunities where you can start your own company. There is nothing like doing something on your own at a young age. There is nothing equal to that.
Correct. So there is another perspective from Harsha posted on the chat box. I have seen people work for 12 hours and 7 days a week for the project and don't get good recognition, and it affects the mental health, even how they'll manage the family. So this is like it's an interesting question which everybody has gone through. So I believe like almost like we have 46 people in this call now. All 46 people would have gone through all this. See, I would say the other way. If you have gone through all through, you are in right track actually. So obviously, like I would put it in that way. But yeah, the recognition part, I feel like either it is recognized by someone who is working with you, or by a superior, or by the organization. Why would we? Over a period of time, I have also learned it. I also feel pissed when the recognition didn't come. But later, when I moved from one side to another side, I realized that recognition, what we are searching outside, is something which is maybe a myth. But the recognition is inside. The learning is always inside. That 12 hours, 7 days a week, whatever we have gone through is always there inside you to solve problems. So that is the recognition which you will get to know over a period of time. That instant recognition from your team, tap on the shoulder, little bit of increment, or that verbal recognition, putting a congratulations on group, that is not going to make any huge difference in the way you work. It is your realization which is going to make a huge difference in the work. So I would encourage to see that perspective. Of course, Akshay or Pani can also add on to what I'm saying.
I
Yes,
have
sir.
a
Like,
different perspective. Yeah,
Please,
go
please.
ahead. Go ahead. We'll-
yes, yeah, yes. I was just saying that instead of like focusing on like good recognition, because it's always necessary to be recognized, but at the initial stages, rather than focusing on like recognition or like maybe acknowledgement, better to focus on learning how much you can gain from the present experience you are taking on. That would be help in future. Like Anbu sir said, it is correct. It will be helpful in your future, whatever the learnings you made. Recognition basically depends on the maybe your seniors or the company. Some people may recognize for the small work, some people may not recognize. But don't um, put more pressure onto like having recognition and all. Just focus on the learning. Your track will be smooth. Right now, as I said, people work for 12 or 7 days. Like you're on the right track only, actually, if I say, because every civil engineer has to go through that phase. If he is working for only 5 days, maybe he is not on civil engineering profession. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, sir.
I have to add a little more perspective onto the recognition part of it. Recognition, you are not the only one having this problem of not recognizing,
Correct.
not getting recognized, not getting noticed. And this is not only for civil engineers. If you ask any field, anybody who is an employee, and even the business people, all the people, those who are doing some kind of work for earning, all people have this problem, lack of recognition. What is the solution? Number one, at what age you are expecting recognition? At this age, don't expect any recognition or endorsement from others. At the most, the third person who is going to recognize your immediate manager. Try to impress upon him. Number one. Number two, instead of expecting recognition from outside world, you recognize yourself first. How you will recognize? Learn, upgrade yourself, and then how you will recognize? Last month, how much knowledge I have, what kind of skills I had, and this month what I have. So once you start recognition of yourself, then others will start recognition, which means you are growing. First you recognize yourself. Have you recognized? You ask this question, have you recognized yourself first? Then expect recognition from others. When you start recognizing yourself, your growth, compare yourself with your previous version and how you manage the growth for yourself, then the recognition will automatically happen. Of course, after all, we are not TV serial actresses or movie actresses to get recognition in the first movie or second movie itself. This is a profession, engineering profession. You have to build your profession to get the recognition. Don't get when you are a small tree,
Yeah, you have
nobody
beautifully
will
answered.
recognize.
Correct, sir. I like the word. You have to build your profession to
Build
get
the recognition.
correct, correct.
Then once you build the recognition, slowly the visibility will come. When the tree is small, nobody will recognize. Even the dog will not recognize. Okay, when the plant is very small, but after a few years, the tree will become very big, and then it will be helpful for others, and then it will be. So it is like this. The visibility is much more, and you will obstruct the visibility of other trees also. Sometimes when you are overgrown, you will obstruct the visibility of other people. So you have to build your recognition. So this is my perspective.
Yeah, it's like a mango tree, sir.
But I like that word, sir. Actually, you have conveyed it very clearly that you need to build your profession to to get that recognition. That's a
Correct.
crisp
Exactly.
Yeah.
word to take away, actually.
Precise and
And there is
Right.
another question here, like, can some
There are so many
Akshay,
questions, sir.
would you like to
Chat box.
contribute anything?
Yeah.
Is
There's
we
one
can-
question.
Just one thing to add from my side about the softwares. Several people ask which software we shall learn, whether ETABS, StatPro, Midas Civil, Sophistic, or any other one. The first and foremost thing is when you learn the software, you start from the very basic. That you learn some commands, how to make a node, how to make an element, you make some beam. And the very big problem in our industry when the people start handling the softwares is they think making a simply supported beam, cantilever beam, or fixed beam. That's all. But when you start working on the live projects, like these days I'm handling the metro station. If you have ever seen the metro station, you know there are 10 piers. Each span has at least 10, 15 number of beams. So there are roughly 150 number of beams at the one level. Then you go to the platform level. Number of beams, number of slabs, each one is spanning at different levels, different lengths. And also you have to deal with the connections. Like we have learned about the beams and columns in the colleges, but we never learned about the connections, right? So when you learn about the connections in the software, that is the biggest problem. You won't believe that it has taken me about 2 or 3 months to prepare just one station model. Even after that, it's been about 8 or 10 months this modeling was started, and still today we face the problem in the modeling. Why? Because modeling is not just one beam or column. The modelings are dependent on the construction site, how they are going to construct on the site. If they are going to put the beam first, not just beam on the column, like they construct the column first, it is a precast construction. So you cast your columns, then you put your beam on the top of the column. In that case, beam is not integral with the column. Means beam is not integral with the column. It is not going to encounter any hogging bending moment. How do you capture those behavior in the model? That is the biggest issue these freshers and the beginners are not understanding these days. So better, what Akshay sir also suggests and what other panelists have also suggested, either start from the site or you start from the very basic, from the SOAM, RCC structures, then you upgrade yourself in the softwares. Never start with the softwares.
True.
That is my opinion, what I have learned in the last few years.
True. Actually, it's true because even when the software is showing some, bug reports or in case of any reports, if it's showing any findings, we should have that fundamental knowledge to identify where that finding is. Software can only highlight the mistake. It will not highlight where what went wrong, or it can maybe spot there is something wrong over here. We have to, have that technical understanding to go and sort it out. So there is another question here, like, can someone explain how to find a good company and where they need to explore for details about that to gather and focus?
Yeah.
So, anybody would like to take this?
Yeah, sir, I can add few points on this. First
Yeah,
is,
please.
first he has to identify which place he has to work. Let's say Hyderabad, Bangalore, Mumbai, Pune. Now then identify which are the good companies in that area. And then try to see which field he want to get into, whether side job, QS job, structure designing job. And once you do this basic research, then he can keep on applying for the companies. Let's say if you want to work as a site engineer in Bangalore. Now list down the top 50 companies in Bangalore which are into construction. Now connect those people through, let's say, LinkedIn, connect them through, put a cold mail and all. Otherwise, go and visit the construction site. So that way, when they, build the network, when they're applying for 100 companies, at least 1 or 2 people will reply. And then that is how they can start with. But the problem is they apply 5 or 10 companies. Definitely the this thing reply will not come. And they feel like we are not getting any reply from those people. So once they increase the sample size, instead of 10, go for 50, go for 100. So definitely one or the other guy will reply them. And getting a job itself is a job again. I mean, it will take long time. The problem with everyone is they finished engineering today. Tomorrow itself, they want a job.
Correct.
So that is not going to happen. At least 1 or 2 months, let them do a research. Yeah, that way they can get a job.
One more is to find out this. I think the question is more about, like, getting a database of the good companies and things. So as you said, LinkedIn and things are one platform. I mean, it's like I have seen like many people who are always resistant to come for open network meetings and events which is happening in that locality. I don't know why. Because when this question comes, I thought I'll address that point. Youngsters, like, basically, like, whoever is into the industry, there are multiple number of events happening. See, you guys are all very good in terms of using Meta or Instagram, where all these events are continuously getting published and all. So visit some of the events. When you go to events, 2 things will happen. One, you will understand what is happening in that particular market, into the construction industry. And second, who is doing good or who is doing average in that particular market. When I say who, I'm saying about the companies and, which set of companies are doing what set of projects. And most important thing over there is, instead of reaching out to LinkedIn, or if you have already reached out to LinkedIn, if somebody has reached out to me, I went for an event and somebody comes and tells me, sir, I've already reached out to you on LinkedIn, I'm looking for so and so thing. That face value, that personal connect will also help in terms, and you will get more number of other contacts also. Maybe if you go to an event and come down, at least you will be able to get 3-4 visiting cards, which is within that 1-2 hours of time spending in Instagram or LinkedIn. If you visit an event personally, that 3-4 contacts is a valuable contact, because you met them face to face, you got the contact. Next day you can send out an email to them, they will also remember you. That opens up a different avenues. And unfortunately, all these events happens on Friday evenings or Saturdays or Sundays. So that's where our people get demotivated sometimes. So you need to step out of that comfort zone also sometimes to go connect with the industry network, peers, etc. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just want to add one thing.
Add.
Here, the question find a good company. Before finding the good company, one should identify the what field he want to get in. It's not like that. If someone likes L&T, okay, chalo, मेरे को job आ गया, QS में कुछ भी चलेगा. It should not be like that. First, identify yourself in which field you are interested in. Like you want to go into a design or QS or site execution. So after freezing on that line, then you go with the company research and all, based on the locality or based on the area, and also you can explore how well you can learn. Then you focus on the company, a good company or a medium, according to that you can decide on.
I have an idea how to find a good company. I'll give you one simplest formula to find a good company. A good company is one which is there in your hometown where you live or where you graduated or where your home is located. Find a small contractor, small construction site. That is the good company for various reasons. I tell you. One, there will be less competition instead of going to a city, nearby city, and everyone going to the same project, same company. So there will be less competition. If you are in your hometown, there will be less traffic jams, first of all, and less projects also. But find a small contractor who is within your town of living, or the town or village or city. Even in villages, you still have contractors. They need some kind of engineers even for the panchayat works, deepening of pond, the small road works. I worked there in the department itself. Rural works department is there. They are laying roads, they are laying culverts, and housings also is there. So the easiest way is to find a job is to find a company which is in your hometown or village or city or the nearby town. And at that stage, the salary also will be very less. At least you can go in your two-wheeler, stay in your own house, and you don't have to eat outside always, except for the lunchtime. So your expenses also can be kept. You can balance with the minimal salary. So how
I was
to
about to
expect?
come there. Now, the moment
Yeah.
you give that definition for good company, there will be a question now whether good company will offer good salary also. So they want good company and a better salary also. That too in same.
Yeah. So it's a
Company
good
has lot
small.
of techniques.
Yes, small company will always give small salary, but
Yes.
for that you have to start with a frugal living. Live in your own house. Don't know room rent is required, and then you will not spend a lot of time in the traffic jam.
Still, I will see
So,
Instagram and I'll get inspired. My IT friend having a weekend party. I'll be feeling okay. I should also go there.
so start small, and then the networking part. You know, not everybody is having the luxury of time to sit in the LinkedIn and then immediately so many people will follow or you will get a networking. The other easiest thing is there are many, like Anbu told, there are many face-to-face events, like the exhibitions are happening. I can remember in India, Intex, interior, exterior, some exhibition happens, and roof tech, floor and roof, and the like this, some windows, floor tech, like this. Many exhibitions are happening where many organizations come and then display their product. When you go there, there are many consulting companies, there are contractors coming and then putting up their stall, and the real estate expos are coming. Many real estate developers are coming, so that will give you an idea about what kind of big projects are coming up now. So they will not complete the project and come to this exposition. When the project is still in the drawing board, they will
Exactly.
come and give this the banners and then 3D images, and then they will try to get the market for the funding. So these are the avenues where you can physically go and meet the developers, and then you will get to know what kind of people are there, what kind of companies, all that you will come to know from the exhibition itself. You can this is how you can expand your network. So when you are already employed in a small company, when you go and negotiate with the interview, you always have a job in the background. Tomorrow you have somewhere to go and make money. So you will have a better bargaining power also. When you are already having a small job and looking for a bigger job, you always have a bargaining power. You can bargain on the salary.
Correct.
But when
Nobody
you
will
are
be
not
desperate
having,
about accepting it.
when you are not having any job and you are desperate to look for a job, and then whatever low salary they throw, you will be forced to accept. So keeping yourself stick to some small company, good or bad, for some temporary period of time is always a good idea to start with.
Yeah. One more interesting question here. So this is from a female candidate. What would you suggest for female candidates? I accept that site work gives good exposure. The roles which I explored include more traveling to different places. So for someone who is interested in designing plans and sort of interior design, what would you recommend? So again, like I'll wait for someone to take over this and then I'll pitch in.
I also wait. Who is the right person? Interior company already having it, right?
No, I can do
Akshay?
that, but I just want to hear out from our panels like Akshay or Pani or Vikram is having anything to contribute.
I just want to answer one thing. For female candidates, there is no limitations right now. Considering the present market situations and all, there is no limitations. So female candidates also can work in anywhere, maybe in site execution or designing and everywhere. Because coming to my field, it's like a techno product based fields. So there is a lot of interaction with the direct developers, and we need to reach out to consultants. We need to travel to other states as well. But what I've seen is there are a lot of women employees as well in our company as well. They do a lot of traveling to meet the consultants and to meet the even they enjoy their profession. So most of the women are also successful in that profession, and they are now into like as a product managers and product specialists and all. So right now in market there is no like limitations. You can explore on the more fields and all. It depends on the individuals as well. If someone is willing to travel, they can take up their accordingly job, and someone is have some limitations, they can always go with this designing or whatever. It's a general view of mine.
Correct. So one point is to answer the candidate. See, it depends on the locality also. So if the particular candidate is actually from whoever has asked this question, if you're from a metro city and if you're looking for a base build or a warm shell or a construction project, then obviously the number of projects which is happening within the city limits will definitely be lesser because the land parcels are almost filled and you have to go a little towards the extreme outskirts of the city where only constructions will happen. So this is regarding the base build projects. And the second part of your question was more of like designing plans and sort of interior designs. So there, interior designs will definitely you have scope to happen within the city limits. But again, the challenge here is in interior projects. These are all time-wise, it's all very less time-consuming projects. So you won't do an interior project for 5 years or 6 years like the way we do for high-rise residential buildings or high-rise commercial buildings. No, any interior project for that matter of say the minimum timeline is 40 days. I'm saying about at least a project of maybe 5,000, 6,000 square feet range, not minor house interiors. At least like 45 days, 60 days is the minimum time period, and they will try to complete it within a maximum timeline of 12 months or 15 months max to max, because they need to start developing the return of investment on those projects. So obviously what happens here, one project at one location, if it gets over in 1 year, second year, you will be shifted to a different project. There is no guarantee you will get it in the same place. So interior project will have this. So in that case, if you're believing like last year I was traveling maybe to the central part of the city or western part of the city, now I have to travel to the eastern part of the city. That is how the nature of projects would work. And to, if you ask like how to find a better place where I don't want to travel, then initially like you need to fix your domain as Pani and others were also emphasizing in the beginning. Make sure whether you wanted to be part of design, or you wanted to be part of planning, office-based planning, or you wanted to be part of any budgeting, or you wanted to be part of any cut list preparations. In that cases, you need to target that specific set of a job, which that interior consultant or that there are 3 types of employees who are always there. One is a contractor, second is a consultant, and third is a client. So under which segment would you wanted to take place? You need to decide that. I think based on that, that role description, as I said, planning, QS or things would also matter a lot, so that you can stay at some office and do that. But one thing, as Funny was also emphasizing, there are provisions for all this. There are provisions for all this. But it's a matter of, see, if you want to sit in office and if you want to reduce the travel, then you require expertise in specific areas, depending on the role in which you are choosing. That requires at least 1 or 2 years of experience to be built. In that period, you need to travel, and then you can sit comfortably in office. So, I'm just preparing your mind to be suitable for that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Shortly, would like to anyone would like to touch base on this? We have a few more questions.
Yes. Yeah, I have a point there for the female employees. I don't see nowadays any restriction for any female employee to work in a construction site. I have seen many female employees in my Indian work experience. Even in rural India, I have worked with female engineers. I have seen them struggling for only one reason: finding a ladies' toilet in the remote village where the Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana roads are being done. So that was the only time female engineers were, I have seen them suffering. So other than that, I don't see any restriction for any female engineers, even for traveling and all. Traveling, switching jobs and switching construction site is inevitable to the kind of profession we have undertaken. And nowadays for any profession, it is possible. And you can choose after working in some exploring some opportunities, you can choose to work in an office for a junior QS or design job or the planning jobs also. But all these jobs also, you cannot avoid going to site for initial stages. Without site knowledge, you cannot do any of these jobs. Without site knowledge, there is only one job role you can do as a female engineer, that is called procurement follow-up. Contract and procurement follow-up, you can do this. This is the only role. Without having 1 day field experience also, you can still manage the procurement, and you can manage the contract, PO processing, PO follow-up, the kind of things, procurement follow-ups and all. So there are still opportunities are there, unlimited opportunities are there. There is no demarcation between male, female in the construction industry. At least going forward, the whatever minor things also will be done off. At present, there is a minor salary disparity between female and male engineers. And once the numbers are increasing, and even this also will slowly go away in smaller company segment I am talking about.
Correct, sir. Akshay, you have a question next. So he was asking, obviously, the first part of the question you have already answered, so I'm not going there. The question, second part is how to build a strong portfolio. If possible, could you share some example what a strong portfolio would look like?
Yeah, one
More
thing
like
is
structural field he's asking for.
yeah. Like if they have taken some trainings, those people will be teaching. Like they might have worked on some projects and all. Try to add it as a kind of a portfolio. So that way they can develop it. Otherwise, they can start doing their own plan, and then you can add it in your portfolio saying that I worked on this plan. So that way, at least when they go for the interview, they can at least show something. At least I've worked on this. This is what I know and all. So that way, try to add 1 or 2 page of a portfolio where you put image of a building. Maybe if you've done an AutoCAD plan, show that this is a plan what I've done. So that way they can, build a portfolio.
Yeah. Vikram, there is a question for you. Is there any future for Tekla? I'm more confused in that which software to take.
Vikram is the right person to answer. He is already.
I am working in the metros, and there is no Tekla or Revit or BIM any software. They have been using the Revit software for creating the architectural plans, but structurally there is no use of BIM softwares in the metros. I have been working in the bridges.
And he's also asking, is Tekla rolled over?
I cannot say that it is rolled over because it is still being used in the industry. But in the highways and metros, it does not have any role until unless you are falling in the architectural side.
In pre-engineered buildings and metal buildings, Tekla is more used. It is ruling.
Steel structures
It's
mostly.
not. It's mostly used in steel structures.
Yeah.
And it has a good scope actually.
Yeah.
There are
one
any
of
number
the
of
special,
there are any
But-
number of opportunities in Hyderabad, Bangalore, Pune, all the metropolitan cities with Tekla.
Yeah,
experience.
Tekla cannot be ruled out even in oil and gas
Correct.
industries for
Correct,
steel
yeah.
structure connections. Steel connections we are using it. Tekla is beautiful in making the connection design.
Yes.
As far as my experience, the RCC concrete is easy, difficult to design, but easy to detail out. Standard details are there for beam, column, junction, and all. Steel structure, it is easy to design, but
Detail.
very difficult to detail it out. Particularly the connections, and then the detailing is taking long time. It's about 80-20 principle, or 60-40 I can say. Concrete takes only 40%, 60% time to design and 40% in detail. It is reverse in the steel structure. And you cannot guarantee that Tekla will live forever. And when I graduated, there was nothing. But when I joined the company, there was something called research engineers. They developed the software called StatPro. Now it is StatPro. Now I don't know who owns Bentley, or I don't know who owns now. So as the technology grows, we'll have more software added every day. And then the old ones, unless they innovate themselves to align with the technology and the addressing the increasing challenges, any software or like any person will perish in the market. That's all gone. So we can't guarantee that this will live for long. So if we know Tekla for lifetime, it is not a problem and all. There is nothing like that. These are tools only. As long as your core knowledge is still with you, nobody can beat you. You will never become outdated. The software become outdated, but when you have the core skill knowledge, the fundamentals of the structural engineering strong, you will never become outdated, at least.
one of the
Maybe-
major use of Tekla I had seen in my workshop, like we had designed the steel structure plate girders for the 45-meter span for the bridges. And they input and made this 3D drawing in the Tekla and directly exported this drawing to the fabrication machine. Means there is a plate, let's say by 5 by 20 meter, machine will be running over there with the laser cutting, and this machine will take care of each and every component cutting. Like there will be a certain number on the component, like there is a plate for 20 by 100 mm, there is a plate for 20 by 200 mm,
Element
16
ID.
by, yes.
It's called element ID.
Yes. So machine will cut each and every element and save the wastage. Like if you draw each and every component on the plate and then cut, maybe you're wasting the plate, the parent plate. But if the machine is cutting, machine better know how to arrange the element to save the wastage.
Yeah.
So that
There was
the
a software
best.
for the sheet metal fabrication for the duct
Yes.
and all. So Tekla used this to feed into the CNC also, so that it will plan for the material planning and then
Exactly.
reduce the wastage. It is there now.
Yes, sir.
And same Sai Krishna has already asked this question, is answered, so I'm skipping. He's asking about possibilities of structural engineering post graduation, site or design, where to start with. So this is many times we have answered this, so I'm skipping that for now. And so next question is from me. Okay, I'm a QS engineer. Can you suggest the best software for quantity takeoff, cost management, so that I can upgrade myself? So it depends on the country. I would say in India, mostly we are depending on AutoCAD, Excel based measurement, and if it's a software, obviously Costex, because we have not scaled up so much into PlanSwift or Candy or other softwares. But if it's like Gulf market or some other European market, PlanSwift and Candy and as well as Costex has already started to be part of. But I would say, like, as all was emphasizing, I would also emphasize the same thing. To start with the QS, first thing is develop your numerical skills. Software doesn't matter, because software is going to help you only in terms of making your takeoff easy. The way you approach, the way you navigate, the way you quickly draw a line and transfer into a measurement, only that bit is going to be automated by a software. But still, a QS has more other more perspectives beyond measurements. So just try to open up beyond that. How do we make a costing? What are the importance of contractual documents? What is RICS? What is FDIC? what are the other types of mode of measurement available, what is NRM standards. If we go to US market, there is completely different format. Uniformat is there. If you go to Gulf, they'll still follow, I believe, like POMI is also in place in Gulf in many places. So there are multiple other things other than what the software is automated, because software is already automated. Only a small bit of QS, you still have a lot more to explore towards that. If any further questions are there, reach out to me in LinkedIn. I can still provide you with some materials to learn about also to the candidate whoever has asked this question. So Sivaraman sir, would you like to touch base on this point?
Yeah,
what is being used in Gulf?
Yeah, PlanSwift we are using for oil and gas industry. PlanSwift we are using it because it is more aligned with piping and all.
Correct.
But other than that, I would recommend one simple software which is a foolproof, fail-proof, easy to learn. That is called MS Excel. MS Excel, I can say, is the darling of a civil engineer. I can say it has from structural engineering to QS to billing to whatnot. Even for MOM tracking, for everything we are using it, even for project planning,
Structural engineering also.
Structural engineering also. There are sheets. Even before STAD is there, and we used all the standard templates for all the footing design and other things, or with the at symbol with all the formulas embedded in it. So we have not explored not more than 10% of the original capabilities of MS Excel. I would recommend Excel is still the number one software for civil engineers applications.
100% correct.
MS Excel was the second thing I was just about to say this. The best software you can ever learn in the entire structural engineering is Microsoft Excel. The same metro station I was talking about, I had to design 36 number of beams. Like we don't work in the ETABS, it is a metro station. So ETABS is not our point of concern here. We use Medacivil software, both for the bridges and metros. So I had to design the 36 number of beams in the Excel, not from the software, whatever the response fraction factors there, the capacity design, anything. I taken 11 days to prepare just one Excel sheet. Just imagine, just 11 working days.
You mean to say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
11 days just to prepare one Excel sheet, and I work on a 5 days per week. So more than 2 weeks I taken just to prepare one Excel sheet. And the day my Excel was prepared, I extracted the data from the Medacivil software, put in the Excel, and design is over. So Excel will never leave you. You are in any industry, irrespective of the civil also.
Yeah.
Correct. That is true.
It's like if you want to excel, you have to learn Excel.
Yes.
Nicely said, actually.
Yeah, I recollect a moment where I made one design came to me for checking, and when I ran through, it was showing somewhere about 1,300, 1,400 error messages. How to go about it? I have to validate it. So what I did, I used the Excel sheet thing to calculate and then verify part by part. I modeled and then verified the same old Excel sheet I opened and then verified it. And then since it's almost matching, I approved. So like this. So STAD Pro, we are validating with Excel only. In one occasion, I did that.
So there is another point here, just a discussion point. It's not a question here. So Pratik has mentioned during my masters in Australia, I have observed first year and second year civil engineering students working part time in companies for few charge per hour basis. This makes them more competent and they get better prepared for the job. That's the reason many doesn't go prefer for PhDs or masters in abroad. I believe this, the universities and institutions across India should encourage students to follow this path and engage in the profession from beginning itself. So Pratik, basically this, instead of universities or institutes encouraging this, parents should encourage this, I believe. Not to, make them in a comfortable
Yes,
place.
mindset. It's a parent's mindset is it should change immediately.
Correct. So, and it's also about the students' willingness. See, in India, there are multiple opportunities available. Even now, we can go do a part-time and come. But how many is interested is the question here. Obviously, when we do for abroad, we do that because there the cost of living is high. We end up doing some part-time jobs over there. And in India, we are always, having a home. Parent is putting money. Why we need to go? So that attitude should change, and we have to open up that, I believe. And I'm just running fast to technical questions. But ask, what is the future of civil engineers? What to focus in our off time after work? how IT guys or other department are in Forbes or millionaire because they innovate or create or solve problems or things. What is our focus to be on? So this question has got more number of likes because it has got two attractive word, IT and billionaire.
Billion.
So yeah, I'll leave it to this forum and I'll come at last on this question. So what is
Okay,
the future? How can IT guys excel and what to do off our time at work and why they are billionaires and we are not?
Okay. Let us not talk about the whole world. At least India, you take it India. If all the software engineers sit together and solve all the problems, how much worth of software we can generate, you can see. How much do you think? I had the number some 10 years ago. It was about 35 billion US dollar worth of software. Some 10, 15 years ago, I had this number. At that time, 700 billion is the volume of construction for India alone. I'm talking about 10, 15 years ago. I don't know the number now because the same discussion took place 25, 30 years ago also. So from there, I recollect the number and tell you the future of civil engineering. India, forget the world itself. Consider India itself. It's a vast country. Do we have roads for all the population on par with other countries, at least smaller countries? Do we have hospitals? Do we have houses for all the 140 crore of people? So India itself, if you look at the whole world, India has the maximum potential for construction business. Civil engineering, India has the maximum potential. No other country has, probably China has. Because when people are there, they have to live, they have to work, they have to do something, they have to travel, they have to shop, they have to go to movies. So for all the many people are not enjoying this facility, they are underprivileged only. For all these people to grow in life, construction has the largest potential in India only. So you don't have to worry about it. This is how the dynamic changes. Next to agriculture, construction is the second largest employer in India as of now.
True.
So this is my guess, also wild guess. I have to Google it and then confirm it. Next to agriculture, construction is the largest employer, not the IT.
You're right, sir. You're right, actually.
Okay, not the IT. And IT guys, don't compare yourself with IT. Actually, to be frank, the IT people are all underemployed. They study like you, 4 years, 48 papers, so many hours of sleepless nights and assignment, 1,200 assignments. And they come out like mechanical engineers and electrical engineers, but simply falling prey to the underpaid IT companies, because in the beginning they are paying 20, 30,000 free food, all this with some phones, some offers, all that. But as you grow, after 40 years, they are rejected. Do you know the reality of those 40 plus years of software engineers? They are rejected. They are no longer required because the IT field, the software is changing, software is advancing. Unless they upgrade themselves to the pace of the industry development, they will be left out. But in civil engineering, gravity load is gravity load hundreds of years ago. And even now we are designing for gravity only. The advancement takes place. Earlier we were doing hand calculations, then came Excel, now StatPro, now Tekla, all this. Only tool is changing, but the fundamental is not changing. But in IT industry, the core fundamental itself is changing.
Correct.
Okay, earlier this COBOL and then the mainframe computer were the thing. Mainframe. Now, where is this company, IBM? It is not even top 5 company. IBM is no longer top 5 company. Tech giants are losing out if they are not upgrading themselves.
Most of their core are now being replaced by AI itself.
Yes, AI itself. Most of the job roles are replaced. Initially, the analyst positions are there. All the analyst positions are now taken over by the artificial models. Large language models are taking over. So IT will be outdated so fast. Which fast it grows, the same fast it will be outdated. But civil engineering will never become outdated. You still need some roads to be made, some bridges to be built, some houses to be built. So you cannot compare this IT and all. IT is nowhere in front of civil engineering, I can say. And what we have lost, what India lost, we gained a lot of foreign the investment in terms of software export and all. But what we lose, fantastic mechanical and electrical engineers we have given away to the IT industry.
Correct. One
Already
answer to that question is also, sir, like he is also asking how IT guys are in Forbes and billionaire lists. See, basically, we have to understand one fundamental difference between IT and construction. So IT is comparatively more organized sector. See, if we could pick the level of construction activities and the and the bandwidth of the construction activities which is happening in the unorganized construction sector, and if we could put together and see, obviously we can find more number of billionaires than IT companies. I'm very much sure of it. But the problem here is, see, if I wanted to build a 2 BHK, I would not go to any consultants or big brands. But in IT companies, it is not like that. If I wanted to go build a small app also, I need to go to a company. That company operates in a formal way and they have their own organized mechanism. That is not the case if I wanted to do a 2 BHK in, in anywhere in the world. So here, a lot of unorganized works also will happen where, the revenues, the number of people, the money flow into that, all that goes unnoticed. So that is the main difference, like why in the construction side bandwidth is not coming to limelight, because it's more of an unorganized sector. Frankly speaking, that is the truth. So no need to confuse, as sir was also saying, don't confuse with Forbes, don't confuse with topmost billionaires. As long as we are getting paid to whatever we want, we are also millionaires or billionaires only. No need to confuse too much about it. So next,
I was about to come to that answer only.
yes,
Construction industry is creating more billionaires than IT. IT
correct.
only few, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, top 100, top 10, only top 100 billionaires. But you are not seeing it. All these things are not coming into the, as Anbu told it, these are all unorganized sector. Many things are not coming into account itself.
Correct.
And when it goes beyond that unmanageable, unaccounted, manageable, then only it comes to big companies. So construction is creating more billionaires than IT industry all put together.
So one more question here, very quick answer I need from someone, like what are the other scope on the field of execution like? So if I'm a site engineer, except site, what are the other scope I can search in the execution line?
Material supply. Material supply is one fantastic thing where you have the resources, you have the connectivities, you can supply some material. There are some contractors, some suppliers I know, they deal with only specialized chemicals, specialized items,
Correct.
which are not commonly marketed in any of that. So he's a millionaire now because he supplies product like threaded couplings, rebar couplers. So he's so like this specialized product only, and there is one water repellent coating. I went to him multiple times for multiple solutions, and he every time he never failed me in providing this particular solution. In one the cooling tower, I want to have a waterproof water repellent painting. Within 1 week, he arranged this material, which was not found in anywhere in Indian market. So this happened in Chennai. I was doing a cooling tower for a oil mill, edible oil mill. So specialized material supply is one of the thing that where the many construction sites will depend on your supply dates.
Correct. And Rajesh, sorry, Vikram, you have one more question here. See, this is from a graduate civil engineer. I learned Revit and Navisworks. How can I get a job in BIM modeling?
Where is this question?
So the question is, he's a graduate engineer, learned Revit and Navisworks, and how can I land a job in BIM modeling?
Sorry, I don't have any idea what the BIM actually.
Okay.
I think you can better explain that.
Yeah. Sir, Sivaraman sir, would you like to take this?
Yes. See, to get a BIM modeling also, you need to work. See, now the many companies like Arcadis and then AECOM, all of them are having their Indian offices. Join there as some BIM coordinator first. They Revit, basic Revit is enough. Join in those companies like as a BIM coordinator. The balance they will take care of it. They will give you trainings, constant trainings, continuous training. So you'll have a hands-on experience. You will grow from there only. BIM coordinator position. The lowest is the BIM coordinator, junior BIM coordinator. Like in those positions you can join.
Correct. And one
Otherwise,
more point is,
the take up the adaptation level in Indian project is still less. So what you will be doing, you will be assisting them in managing this BIM environment for the offshore projects. Try to join there only.
one more point is, if you are looking for BIM-based job, there are two set of companies. One is, as Sir was saying, the consultant set of group of companies who is hiring like Arcadis, Atkins, AECOM. Many companies are hiring them, but they have a mixed portfolio of doing local as well. Very few local, obviously, more of abroad projects. And second set of companies are like the client companies who is also hiring because they have some set of a small team who is operating their own in-house assets. So they need people to join and assist their team, learn about BIM. So to learn about BIM, that is also an avenue. So for example, LinkedIn is one area where BIM-based roles constantly keeps coming in, because most of other jobs is still in the offline market also. But fortunately, BIM job openings are more always available on online platforms like LinkedIn or Naukri. So be very thorough about that. You can find a lot of opportunities there. As sometimes like client companies, consultant companies, and some contractors are also these days asking because of bespoke requirement from clients. Because clients want some contractors to deploy BIM in their project. Say for example, L&T, if they're doing for a particular project, the client wants L&T to have a BIM expert. So then they also hire on it. So it's more of in India, if you are there, it's more of a project driven, scope driven role. So unless and until the client is demanding, it won't come there. So you have to route it in that way. If it is abroad, the companies we have named will, help you probably.
There is one organization called the India BIM Association. Try to become a member, associate with them. Dr. C.B. Amarnath was the chairman once. I met him also. India BIM Association. They have some WhatsApp channels and then YouTube channels also. You can try to become a member there, where you will have a lot of entry-level job opportunities there. And not only the consultants, there are some contractors from UK. They have their back office developing this BIM model in India. A company called Balfour Beatty. It's a UK-based contractor. They have their back office in Bangalore also. So you can explore opportunities there. The first point is become associated with India BIM Association, where you will have many entry-level job opportunities.
Yeah, and one more question now is like, when is the right time to switch a company and why one need to switch? Okay, so Akshay, where are you? Akshay and Pani.
She's not actually left. He has some work.
Okay, fine.
He will continue with other people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Pani, would
see,
you like to take this?
right time to switch a company is totally depends on, because there are several factors rely on this question, because on the professional front as well as in personal level. See, if you like, maybe if you consider a professional where you feel maybe in a stagnated, or you may not having a scope of learning or some internal things, maybe you can switch to a company, like rather than being on the wrong train, getting at early station, it would be a better. And also it depends, like when the project is nearing to completion and there are no other projects, upcoming projects, then you can change the company. But finally, like if I say apart coming based on my experience, at the early ages you can explore like a lot of fields, but keep it in mind that frequent changes are also it will not be good in your CV, because as per recruiters will always see, for example, if you are having a 15 years of experience, so you are changing up to like 6 companies, so that would be a like a remark for a recruiter, because he will be calculating like a 15 by 6. So every 2 years you are changing a company. So he'll think that you're not stable at one place, and there will be a backup option. So keeping that in mind, you need to plan accordingly. And if you're in a company, like at the starting stage, be in a company where you can learn many things. At least you can continue like 4 to 5 years. That will give you a strong foundation. So later on, you can switch accordingly. That experience itself will teach you when to change the company and which field you need to change the company. But my advice is don't change it frequently, like every 2 years and all, for maybe for a designation or maybe for a salary upgrade and all. You need to consider a lot of things.
Why one need to change is basically, I would like to say, if you feel like a career is stuck there, because I have seen like last week I was speaking to someone. What happened to them is like basically they are into a particular developer, and the number of set of projects which they believe they are capable to handle is not being provided to them. They are still kept in office because of some reasons and all. Whenever they are asked to go to site, the management is not letting them to go to site. They said like they're enforcing them to be at office and do some sort of work. So in such special cases where you feel like your capability is more, but still you are not provided the right opportunity or right food for your thought, then that is an area where one would definitely need to switch. But except that, if it's any other criteria or something, have patience and acceptance. Things will change over a period of time. And next is a question to me: why surveying is outdated in civil engineering? I think he's asking about quantity surveying. Okay, let me take that. So it's not outdated, I would say. It's transformed in a multiple ways. Yes, there are still, because I'm still having my job. I'm still having my food on my plate. So that means I'm still getting job. The industry is not quantity surveying is not outdated. What happened here is the potential of quantity surveying is misinterpreted or taken out in a very lighter way, because there is a lot of avenues where a quantity survey can actually contribute, but unfortunately it has narrowed down only to measurement. So that is obviously there, but it is still I would say it's definitely not an outdated industry. It is slightly transformed according to bespoke requirement of industry leaders. That's the way I see it.
Quantity surveyor has the direct impact on the profit loss account.
Correct.
So this will never become outdated as long as money matters. This will never become outdated. It is transforming like any other role. It is transforming also, but it is one of the underrated profession in India.
True, sir. True. Thank you so much, sir. That word actually heals me. So which field can I choose during MTech in structural engineering, building design, or bridge metro design? Vikram.
There's no such thing which you can choose in the buildings, bridges, or metros. Actually, that is the first and foremost thing I learned after a few years, actually. Earlier, when I started my career, I was working on the long span structures only, the bridges. When I was working in L&T, the minimum length of span I had worked over was 120 meters. But after that, when I switched the company to Tandon Consultant, the maximum span I have worked till now is 150 meters. So you are in the bridges, buildings, or metro, that doesn't even matter. The only thing is whether you are happy in that field or not.
Correct.
There are some people who want to shift from bridges to buildings, and there are certain candidates who want to shift from buildings to bridges. There are several candidates who are looking after the metros also. And there are some of the candidates like me also who want to shift from metros to bridges. So it is not about which field you should be. The only thing is which field you want to be interested in. You are like thinking likewise about the buildings or bridges or metros, or not just about these three fields. Are you looking after the oil and gas industry, the chemical industry, the petroleum industry? Everything is dependent on your thinking, which field you want to be in. So not just one field. And given that which field is more good, whether you will be doing good in the bridges or buildings or metros or oil and gas, petroleum, that thing only you can find out after working there only. And if you look after the people who have been working there, then you can look after every panelist. They belong to 5 different fields, and still they are successful in their respective fields, not just one.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you choose structural engineering as a profession, you have already taken your decision.
Yes.
So there is nothing to become a building specialist or the bridge specialist. As long as structural engineering is what about the sigma of the sum of all forces equal to 0, sum of all moments equal to 0. So
Yes,
this
sir.
never changes, whether it is a building or a bridge, the concept never changes. It's only about the design parameters will change. When you go with the pipe, the pipe loads will different for the pipe rack. I never imagined myself as a coming to oil and gas industry as a structural engineer. I wanted to become a structural engineer, but it is not your choice also. When you actually go into work, it is not your choice. If you ask any experienced guy what you actually wanted to become, what you are, and what he is good in doing it or what he has achieved, there's almost a range of disconnect. You can see that I
Yes, sir.
wanted to become a structural engineer, but the billing and quantity surveying was pushed onto my my head, and then later the project management, then again structural engineering for oil and gas industry. So the role keeps changing only. You will not control after some time. So all these, whether this field, that field, maybe up to 10-15 years of your experience only. After that, it is beyond your control.
So it's when you say about the bridges buildings, this metro station is more like a building only. And when we design this metro station, we refer the IS code for the designing. So in terms of design, I have worked in the bridges also, buildings also, and metros also. After working all the three fields, I feel I like the bridges more. So this thing you can understand only after working in that field only.
Right. So there were like 2-3 iterations of that question. So you have answered all the bits of that question. So there's another question like, could you explain the different roles in BIM, such as modeler, coordinator, analyst? What are the key?
There are about 35 roles in 35. To my understanding, I had once listed also in one of my presentations, about 35 roles are there in BIM.
BIM. So how do these roles contribute and integrate with the real-time project workflow? So
there are all the 35 are functioning in a few projects, but not in India. But it will come in future. Definitely, it will come into future for the size and number of projects coming up in India also. It will come. All
Yeah.
large projects. Now it is practiced in Dubai. I have seen in front of my eyes that it is being practiced in Dubai.
So Srija, to answer this question, basically like it is like, currently in India, if you're in India, BIM is mostly used in predominantly well-known clients or well-known projects because only they can afford or have the expertise or they have the budget to afford the expertise of it. So mostly here it is used for class detection stage at the design and things like that. But the potential of BIM is way beyond that. We speak about 3D, 4D, 5D and all, where every D stands for integrating the cost part of it, integrating the schedule part of it, integrating the facility management part of it also. So the moment we integrate every part of a building, right from construction, handing over, the time, cost, quality,
operations,
handing
operations
over, and
also.
it goes up to operations. Exactly, the facility management, which is go up to the operation. The entire life cycle of a building can be run through a BIM model. So in terms of opportunities, all aspects of construction will have certain opportunities towards BIM. So if you have a planning skill, you still can become a BIM modeler or a coordinator. If you have costing skill, you still can become there. If you have from facility management skill, you still can learn BIM and go towards it. So BIM is not a software; it's a model where any type of expertise can get involved to. So I would like to go to the next question with that. How valuation is integrated into civil engineering services? Is it considered a core part of the profession? And what kind of growth or career opportunities does this field offer in the future?
Yeah, recently I presented, I made 1 hour or 1.5 hour presentation here in the forum itself on valuation. The last 10-15 minutes of that presentation, I had told how the BIM is going to help the workflow of the BIM in the valuation. Also, I have narrated that in the presentation. If you have time, you can go through and see the last 15 minutes of it. It has immense
Where is it available, sir?
potential. Which one?
It's available on YouTube.
YouTube.
Yes,
okay.
yes. I think it's
No.
available on YouTube. Yes.
Vinay, you can share that in the group.
Yes,
this
yes,
particular
I'll be sharing after this.
Yeah. So Srija, this will be shared in the group. You can take from there. Okay, this question is already answered by Vikram, so I'm passing it. How to get a job at Bridge Engineer? So that also is already answered. I think learn software like CSA, Bridge, and Midas. So one question, Vikram, to you, multiple questions here. So I would like to take this. Where to get or learn these softwares, particularly structural design softwares? Specifically, it's being asked about CSA, Bridge, Midas, and all.
If you are primarily intending to learn the bridges, my first and foremost and biggest suggestion is don't look after the softwares. If you are learning the softwares, there is no guarantee you will get the job. But if you learn the basics and fundamentals, you will get the job and you will learn the software there. I think I have left a LinkedIn post about this also way back, maybe 1 year. When I joined L&T, I did not know MedAS software. I learned after joining there. And when I started working in the Tandon consultant, the first question on the very beginning day, my manager asked me, "Do you know StatPro?" I said no. And his reaction was watchable, like, "Don't you know StatPro?" I said no. Which software do you know? I said MedAS Civil. And then you will learn StatPro. So it is not about the softwares you will learn, and especially about the bridges. Like one thing you have to note down, you have not learned the bridges in your academics, neither in BTech nor in MTech. I did not have bridges in my master's. I did not have earthquake in my master's. Like I did not study that. I did not study any of the allied subjects about the bridges. And still I entered into bridges. I'm doing well. So bridges are not about the softwares, because if you go out and see the bridges, 99% of bridges are resting over the bearings. And any bridges or any structure resting over the bearing is simply supported. Don't you know the bending moment of simply supported structure? Don't you know the shear force diagram of simply supported beam? Don't you know the loading over that? Loading you will get from the code, that's all. The land load will be variable, but crash barrier will be there. The wearing code will be there. The dead load will be there. All the loads are uniform load. Can't you draw the bending moment diagram and shear force diagram for a simply supported beam subjected to UDL? If you can't, then don't look after the bridges. And if you can, don't look after the softwares. Better you emphasize over the basics, because whenever you go for the interview in the bridges, they don't ask you softwares. They don't ask you which thesis you have gone, which project you have worked on, which internship you have worked over. Like internship, most probably in more than 99% candidates do their internship in the buildings. So if you're not doing the internship in the bridges, no need of asking that. The first and foremost basic question they will ask, can you draw the SFD and BMD for the simply supported beam? Can you draw the SFD BMD for the portal frame? Can you draw the bending moment diagram for 3-span continuous beam or not? That is all they will ask, be it any company, if you're looking after the bridges.
And one more is just a lineup. I got this question, but I would like to take your inputs also on this. So this is from Kabir. He's asking, like, he's into petroleum. He wants to switch to designing. So how to start with? And he's also from IIT Madras, I think. So how to switch your career to design field while you're already into some other part of construction?
See,
What are the basics to learn, basically? If say, for example, I am into construction, I have no experience on design. And if I want to become a design engineer, what are the basics that I should go forward?
See, when you switch the field, one of the major factor you have to remember, let's say you worked on site for the 5 years and you want to enter the design field. There are other candidates who have entered the design field from the very beginning.
Correct.
So let's say they have 5 years of experience in the design.
Correct.
And you have 5 years of experience in the site.
Correct.
So when you start your career from construction to design, the one thing you have to remember that you will not get the salary which they are getting after 5 years of experience. The only thing is, if you really are passionate about the design, you have to work at slightly lower salary and then jump from there.
But what are the skill sets to develop in case, I mean, where to start basically? Because right now I'll have a better development understanding about how the building is working, because I've been as a site engineer. I'm speaking on behalf of the candidate. Okay. So his question is like more where to start. Maybe you can throw 1 or 2 areas, like start brushing your skills on design concepts, something.
Then
like
I think Akshay sir has better explained this question in the very beginning itself, that if you want to enter the design field, irrespective of your buildings, bridges, chemical industry, petroleum industry, oil and gas, anywhere, as Siva sir has also mentioned, that the first and foremost thing is the design is all about the mathematics and Microsoft Excel. And Microsoft Excel is also a mathematical tool, not a reinforcement or a cement or a sand. So you have to understand the mathematics running behind the designing. So first of all, brush up your skills primarily in the mechanics, be it the mechanics of rigid body or deformable body, means the engineering mechanics and strength of material. Once you have completed that, then you enter towards the structural engineering after learning some of the basics, not advanced things like advanced structures, advanced pre-stress, not like that. You learn the basics of those fields and then start preparing for the interviews and appearing for the interviews. Because until unless you appear for the interviews, you don't know which field you have to upgrade yourself.
One thing we can do in reverse also, appear for interview, you will get to know what they are asking for. Then you
Yeah,
can
but
prepare
that will
questions also.
impact negatively actually.
Yeah.
If you directly go for the interview, they don't select you. The one question, it will always be in your mind. What kind of questions they were asking? I didn't even answer one of them. So better learn the basics of that design and then appear for the interviews. Because the real question, what they are asking you, you can get those questions only after appearing for the interviews only.
Yeah. So Sivaraman sir, you have a point here. Somebody has mentioned like, why don't you quit your job and become a professor or teacher? Because because of your technical expertise and you're a good mentor, as of I know, I think you should come to similar question.
Yeah, I have a passion for teaching. I first completed my diploma, then worked for a famous architect in Chennai for about 10 months. Then I came back and studied 4 years engineering. During the 4 years engineering, I was the one teaching the engineering drawing to all my batchmates and juniors. So teaching is my passion. I will one day you will one day see me in front of the students. I'll end up there only. I'll end up my
That
career.
point is answered to whoever has asked that question. So one day you can see him, in front of a blackboard
Yes.
or a green board. Teach to others that expertise in that particular area we need to develop constantly.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so some other questions I would like to take. I would like to take opinion whether to pursue MTech or opt for NICMAR. Okay, this is not an education consulting group. Let's ask about job. But yeah, both has its own positives and negatives. You can reach out to the forum member here. And is it important to do masters for good career in civil engineering field?
Not necessary.
Yes, I agree with that.
Bachelor degree itself is enough to manage 99% of projects running in this world. Yes, masters has nothing. Yes, master has something. It has its value. It has its own dynamics, dimensions, which is not available for any bachelor degree holders. So it is possible, but what you are looking at from your degree is what makes the decision simple. Whether you go for NICMAR or for the masters in other courses, what you are trying to achieve with that. That is the if you can answer this question, you can take this decision.
Correct. One common answer, because this question is there in multiple other forms, I would like to answer that is like, see, no degree or no college will guarantee you a better job to your career. It may give a better start. But continuing that exactly, sir. Edge. It may have an edge in terms of giving a start, but to continue with that job, every job requires your expertise, your ability to upgrade to what the technology or the field is demanding. So those skill sets really matters in terms of getting a good pay. And as Siva sir was also saying, you need to figure out your objective of choosing that course. And if it's better aligned with that, you can choose whichever the course which is aligned to your objective. And I think like with that, mostly like most of the other questions which I skipped are in terms of, I'm a fresher, do I need to start in a villa projects or high-rise buildings, or which type of construction to start with. I've grouped it all together. So if you're a fresher, maybe best way, as we have already started, just identify whichever is connecting to your own career, to your own personal character traits. If you are not, if you believe like I'm a person who is not going to, who cannot be at site, better don't go for site. That's not a thing, but it has to be aligned with your career or personal character traits. Do not enforce yourself, because if you don't like, if you go, you will end up hating the job, which is not a right sign. So maybe I would like to take opinion from others also.
Only one simple one-line answer for that. Start as soon as possible. Start from somewhere. This is the
Correct.
don't think too much about it. Once you start, the way will the way will appear.
So I think we are already out of time. So with that,
Okay.
panels. Okay, last question. I'll take this. Panel's opinion and use of AI in structural or civil engineering. Let everyone answer this. We can conclude with this.
Yeah. AI is one devil which you cannot avoid. Fortunately or unfortunately, the AI pickup is slow in construction. But AI, however, it develops maybe in next 20 years also. AI cannot build the house itself, or it cannot do the actual construction work. AI can help us in structural designing, planning, claims, quantity surveying, and operations management with data analytics, how much time it took place. So our estimation will become accurate. So AI is only going to help improve our quality of work and improve the productivity, but it can never replace what we are basically doing with manpower at site. So we can't escape this. This is what my opinion.
Yeah, funny. Funny, like
See, like I don't have any much use. Just I'm watching how AI is evolving. So definitely, maybe on a practical level, at site level, it can't be. But in terms of software, maybe it may be enhanced. We need to just watch, and I suggest like every engineer or a fresher, just keep adapting to the softwares or whatever they are working on, or they need to adapt for the new softwares as well, rather than relying on the same thing. It's a constant learning.
Vikram.
If there is AI to take my job, better take it.
AI
No,
cannot take your job. People, those who know how to use AI may take your job.
Correct.
AI can never take your job.
Correct.
I will not say AI will take my job. I will not say any people who is working in my field learning AI will take my job. The only thing I can say is I don't use AI. I don't use ChatGPT. I don't use DeepSeek. I have even not opened any of the AI tools till now in my life.
Better.
People have shown me there is ChatGPT, there is DeepSeek, but I have not used any of these AI tools in my career. Like maybe ChatGPT has been there for the last 3 years, but I have not used it even for single time. The only thing I know about my career is if there is any AI, if there is any person, if there is any junior, senior, anyone who can understand my Excel sheet to design my structure, they can only take my job. And believe me, till now, nobody has dared to understand my Excel sheets. So AI is far apart. Even Excel is much better than AI.
Of course, true.
Right.
Excel is much better than AI. Much. See, I tried once giving one simple structure. AI was the same. ChatGPT was giving some answer. It was no way close to my manual calculation. I asked the question, "Are you sure?" Then AI asked, "Wait a minute, we are reworking it and we are checking as per this formula, that formula." Again, it was giving a wrong answer only. It never gave the proper solution which I have made manually. So at last, it has withdrawn. Similarly, I asked the question, can you do the planning of, can you validate a Primavera project schedule? It was saying the Primavera project schedule is not it has not come into existence in the large language model which we are using it. So I can tell you. No. It was giving some suggestions. You can learn from this, or you can use some third-party software to validate it, or go back to Primavera P6 itself. There is a check schedule. There is an option. Go there. Like this, it was giving suggestion only. It can not now. As of now, it is not nowhere close to taking over. Never even imagine in the near future.
To add some flavor to this question from my side, sir, it's like so to the entire forum. see, we have to understand basically how this AI technology works. So AI is not something which is going to think on its own and give something to it. It is going to read the data which is available, collect information and assort it in such a way and give it to you. So in such a way, we have already discussed like how organized our industry is. We are one of the most unorganized sector in the world. So the data here is obviously unorganized. So AI is something which is beneficial only where the data is obviously organized, because the large language models requires organized data, which is not
structured
structured
data.
data, which is not at all available like the way it is available in other industries, which is not available in construction. So it is definitely impossible for an AI to give the requirements or to meet the requirements of a civil engineer, because the data here is very much unorganized. And then what is happening in the AI industry, if you ask me, there are two set of processes in construction. One is a backend, second is a front end. Simple language I'm using. Backend is something where all the paper works, documentation works, planning works, budget works, and the documentation works will take place. Front end, assume like it is the core construction activities which is happening here. So to clarify the AI's impact, front end, there is absolutely nothing, anything at place to do the construction activities. There are certain technologies to monitor, to report the construction activities, but there is no AI technology or robot technology to do the construction activities as of now. That's going to take huge amount of time because it requires a lot of data again. And second, the backend side, the workflow related things, for example, preparation of a report, streamlining, putting into a system, checking where it is getting struck, is there a blocker for any approval process. This set of workflow related, process related things has already started to take place into with a touch of AI. Other than that, majority of the core activities, like to validate my project schedule, to validate my construction budget, to validate the quality issues, to prepare an SOP of a project, to validate a contractual document of a project, there is maybe I would say the AI just started to penetrate into it. It didn't have anything much to contribute to these areas because again the data is not available. But going forward, maybe in another 5 years or 6 years, some of these areas could have AI impact. On the front end construction, it's going to take huge amount of time. I would say, we cannot avoid AI. It will be there because going forward, it will definitely be part of your project requirement also, but it's going to take time in our industry. As I said, it's better like, we need to develop the mindset of, how this maybe some of the softwares which we are using also will have a AI plugin along with that going forward. That is definitely going to happen because that's when this industry will also get more organized sector. I say, unless until AI is coming, I say at least let us get the data organized, because that is something which we have been trying to do for last so many years. We couldn't organize the data in this industry. At least let AI do that is what I am, keeping my fingers crossed and waiting to see. If that happens, then the beauty of construction, the data in construction will be more. I think if that happens, we can see how many billionaires are also there in construction, because at least then data will get accounted somewhere properly. It's going to take a lot of time. Yeah.
One more thing about the AI. This is station I was talking about earlier, that I had designed 36 beam. It had taken me 11 days to prepare one Excel. I extract 25 lakh data points from the software and paste in the Excel. If AI has the enough capability to understand
It won't.
which data is where, which point it has to connect, point 1 to 1000 point or 1 to 100. Like there is 1 point and there is 1 point other end of the beam. But in between, you have to provide the hogging reinforcement, you have to provide the sagging reinforcement. There will be curtailment also. Which point you have to utilize from that particular beam only. Like if there are 36 beam and let's say there are 10 elements in each beam. So you have to handle 36 number of element along with 100 number of load combination. So which load combination you have to use, which element you have to use, which is a curtailment point, which is a sagging moment, which is a hogging moment. AI is not capable of it right now. And as far I understand it may take 5 or 10 years till now, means from now onwards, to understand this data. Because handling 25 lakh data point is not an easy task. I know it because I have done it. And that's why it's taken me days, not just a few hours.
Yeah, I think, Vinay, I'll hand it over to you. We are done with the questions.
Just one last thing from my side. I could see a lot of people asking the questions about the bridge engineering. So if you want to enter this field, if you're really passionate about this field, you can follow one book by DJ Victor, D. Johnson Victor. The book name is Essential of Bridge Engineering. It is a very basic to intermediate book. If you want to enter the bridges, please go through it, brush up your skills, at least from the basics, and then appear for the interviews. You can take up.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you to all the panel speakers for spending your valuable time with us. It's more than 1.5 hours. It's almost 2 hours. Yeah, I hope all the questions are answered. If any questions are not answered, the speakers will be replying to you in groups. So please understand. And I think we can wind up the session. Thank you, Anbu sir. Thank you, Hivaraman sir. Thank you, Fani sir. Thank you all. Thank you, Vikram sir. Thank you, Akshay sir. Akshay sir is there.
Thank you, gentlemen,
Yeah,
especially
sure.
Anbu. Thank you, Anbu, for fantastically moderating it. Akshay,
Thank you,
bye.
sir.
Thanks for your time together.
Thank you.
We'll connect later. We can catch up later also.
Yeah.
Thanks to everyone for sharing your suggestions. I hope this will really benefit the freshers and beginners.
Yes.
So all we will look forward for better sessions. If any questions couldn't be answered, please post it in the WhatsApp group, or you can reach out to us on LinkedIn also. We can
Vinay,
in
Yes,
the
sir.
short time we had to
You
cut
can-
some questions.
you can post this thing, WhatsApp link also here. People those are not joined, think they can join.
Here it is. There's a group link someone posted here already. The
Fine.
chat box.
Yeah. Done.
Yep. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Vinay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
gentlemen.
Thank you, Vinay. Thank you, Akshay. Thank you, Vikram.
Yeah,
Bye.
thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.